Yo, we're live right now. YouTube. What up? What up? What up?
Not much, man. All right.
What's good, Ryan? 13 Bridge Studios. What's up? Crime Faces here. What's up, YouTube? I'm fucking up.
Yeah, so we wanted to jump on here, do a live podcast, because for one thing, we asked everybody for some questions this week about the game, because we had a lot coming in just on DMs, so we wanted to open it up and just address a lot of these questions right here. Also, just talk about some other stuff as well. First off, though, I want to give everybody, first of all, a big thank you, but also a heads up. We got the giveaway going right now on the page. Very simple to enter. You just pick which of the first 4 characters you're most excited to play with. Let us know in the comments, tag 3 friends, and you get an entry. You want another entry, you share our post in your stories, and you got 2 entries, and the winner gets the Oculus headset. So Oculus. Very easy to do. We got a lot of participation so far, but yeah, keep those entries coming. We're closing everything at midnight on Sunday night, midnight Pacific time. So get your entries in now.
Yeah, I got the Oculus. You got it? You got that Oculus?
I don't actually. I've been sleeping on it, but I used one. I was in Chicago over the holidays, and I used my wife's nephew's, and I almost knocked somebody out when the controller threw out my hand. But
I'll tell you a trick. You put it on, and then you just lift it a little so you can see at the bottom, and then you go right next to your wife, and then you just start acting like you're punching.
I almost knocked one of my nephews in the head, but yeah, it was cool. I liked it a lot. I did some game where people were like attacking you in the airport. I was grabbing knives out the air, and
you guys see the football?
Guns. I got to try the football.
Football, you're the quarterback, and you're calling the plays. The plays are on your arm. Like Peyton Manning. Like you're calling the plays, and you got to,
Omaha.
Yeah. So we got some questions, right? People were asking questions. Let me see where the comments is at too.
Yeah, pull those up. I'll get started on the first one. So first question, pretty easy answer. What's this going to be available on? We're gonna launch on mobile with both iOS and Android devices. So we'll be in Google Play Store, we'll be in the Apple's App Store, and we'll be
I'll say what's up.
All right. So we'll be in the App Stores, Google Play Store. We're not gonna launch on PC and console, but it's our hope, obviously, to once we get things going and get some traction, that we'll be able to move over to PC and console. That'd be the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Did you see that thing? You're speaking about the console. You saw the thing that I sent you? I sent you recently. You could put your phone in the controller.
Yeah, they got that, and then they got, I think it's called the backbone, where you put it's like turns your phone into a controller. So we're actually working with the studio to see if we can, incorporate that technology. We're hoping to be able to. We should be able to, but we're working on that. Maybe that'll be our next giveaway.
My man got a basketball game later today. Oh, he's a baller. Yeah, look, my man JXY Vibe.
Oh yeah,
game today.
Yeah, he's a big supporter. So, I think actually a couple questions that he's had, and a couple of the other people that have been following us pretty closely, is what early access looks like, when that's coming. We should have a better idea of that within the next month. So by the end of February, I think there's going to be the people that are really supportive of us, that have really been engaging with us. We're going to try to get them this very early playable demo, the one we've been showing. We're working on incorporating a multiplayer element to it right now. So we're going to try to get them in very early for like alpha beta testing. Those are the people we want telling us we're going to try some different shooting gauges. We're going to try some different camera angles. We're going to mix up the pace of play, make it a little bit quicker than what you saw in the videos. And we want to get feedback from the people that we know are going to be really supporting us along the way. So there'll be more on that to come in the next few weeks. And then we'll do a formal early access where there'll be, it'll be we'll cast a much wider net, and then we'll move into the soft launch, where I will say this, I don't want to promise anything because game development is notoriously difficult to predict what might happen, which bugs might come up, all that stuff. I'll give a quick plug if you haven't read the book. Let's see, Press Reset was one, and then there's another one I'm blanking on right now. I'll look it up, but it's all about game development and the trials and tribulations that come with it, which we're living firsthand. But I will say where the best case scenario, it'll be this summer, and that's what we're targeting. But again, no promises on that. Don't get mad at me if we get to, July 1st and we're still working on some things, because we want to make sure this is the best experience we can provide from day one,
Yeah, a lot of people put out their product prematurely, and they put it out with the bugs, and that frustrates the user, that frustrates the customer. And then, you play a game like me, myself, I get turned off, I'm not going to go back. So we're going to make sure we're gamers. Me and Ryan is gamers. So we're going to make sure the shit is a game. Like, it's nasty. Everything is official, smooth, shooting, everything. So, firsthand, like I said, like Ryan said, day to day, we're working on this to make sure this is the dopest video game out. And, nowadays, you see the games that are out. There's some games that are just crushing it. And then there's some games where you see they just kind of, maybe they ran out of money, or they just pushed it out there and forced it out there without putting it through you got to put it through the ringer.
Through the ringer, yeah.
The game is. You got to make sure it's top of the line. That's what we're doing.
And the other book is called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, and that's the one. It's an awesome book. It really gives you some insight what they basically did. It's a reporter or journalist that he took like 10 games, some big ones, some smaller independent games. He did Stardew Valley. He also did Uncharted 4. So he kind of ran the big studio AAA down to the independent single developer, and kind of did basically a chapter on each one and their development. And it's pretty crazy read, but very enjoyable, pretty quick read. So check that out. Next question is, how long are the seasons going to be? So what we're going to target at launch is 3 months. That might actually come down a little bit and get shorter as we get going and get more momentum, and we just got more content we can generate. But we're going to focus on three-month seasons, have some cool beats within each season with characters being introduced, beats in the storyline being introduced over the course of the season. We're going to have a soundtrack each season is what we're targeting, with a dedicated mixtape, so we'll be dropping new music. And then also the courts. There's going to be new courts introduced as the story progresses. So yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, man. And look, we got another question. How many characters are going to be in this game?
Yeah, so I think with the early access, we're going to have 4 characters with a variety of outfits, so you can make sure when you're playing 2-on-2, no one's wearing the same thing, looks alike, it gets confusing. But we're also looking at doing 6 characters. So we've been talking a lot about the first 4. So Trayson Barnes, Trey, Callie Blasette, Jada Nowell, and Logan Hurts. A lot. And it's been pretty interesting. What happened?
That's the juice bag of the crew.
yeah. So everybody likes that name so far. But if you see in the giveaway right now, everybody, it's a pretty even. We're gonna tally up the votes on Monday, but it's pretty even. Everybody's got a character they want to play with. I wasn't sure if it was going to be very one-sided or whatever, but yeah, it's been a pretty even mix from just kind of putting my finger in the air and trying to figure out, get a sense of who everybody wants to play with. But those are going to be our first 4 characters. Now we have 2 others, Danny Santos, His story, he's from the Philippines. He's got a background story. And Quentin Q, I forget his last name, but he's New York City point god is his nickname. So we got 6 characters we're looking at. We've been really talking about the first 4 while we develop the next 2. And our goal is every season to introduce some non-playable characters that are more the people behind the scenes of Run the Court, the league. And then we'll have a variety of new characters each season. So
yeah, the storyline, that's another, I think you're underselling the storyline. The storyline is amazing, bro. Like not only is the gameplay going to be like very NBA Jam-esque and it's going to be very fun to play and smooth controls, but there's a whole, it's realer than you think. There's a whole storyline behind it. Like, we could really make movies out of this. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing here. But that'll all come in time. First thing.
Yeah.
First order of business, dope game.
Yeah, dope gameplay first, but we want that storyline there, right? A lot of the times in mobile games, people discount or overlook the story aspect, and I think particularly when you look outside of the US where, the lion's share of users are playing on mobile, they want that type of experience. So actually, I'm glad you said that because we got a little mini trailer teaser dropping. I believe it'll be dropping today on the Instagram and Twitter and everything else. That'll start to set a little bit of the tone of Run the Court. And then next week, we're going to have more of a built-out trailer exploring the story. We're going to start sharing some character inspiration art that we developed. We've actually we've all been messing around with Midjourney and doing some work with AI with computer generated stuff and also incorporating our own artwork to kind of create the inspiration characters for a lot of the non-playable characters. And we've come up with we got someone who's really good at that with the prompting, who's created some masterpieces. So we're not going to tell you who each character is because there's a big focus of this is the mystery and unlocking the mystery as you're playing this game and as seasons progress, because there's a central storyline, much like Fortnite, where the world continues to evolve and develop as you're playing or as you're not playing. So there's world events going on, things happening within the universe of the game. And then as you're playing, you're kind of exploring those and the story's progressing. And then each character also has their own backstory and their whole reason that they're in this league or that they're involved with the operations behind the league. So we're going to start teasing some of these characters, some of the art. I think people are going to be excited about that. But most importantly, the trailer's dropping, which is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fire. I saw the first draft. I didn't see the final. They're cooking it up right now. I didn't see the final draft, but the first draft was hitting already.
Yeah, it was dope. I mean, the team is just doing some remarkable stuff. So that's been very exciting.
We got mad questions, bro. People were submitting. People got a million questions. They're excited about the game.
Yeah.
We're just pushing this now. We've been pushing it hard as of recently, and look at the response we're getting. People are submitting questions. They're curious. They want to know. I think they're waiting for that next thing outside of 2K. You know what I mean? Where, NBA Jam meets Fortnite. Like, you know what I mean? That's
yeah.
Right here. So it's exciting. What's the next question? Let's see. How many courts? No, character better.
Oh, okay.
How can I make my character better in the game?
Okay, so typically with gaming, you got the games where you can pay like a 2K and you can increase the attributes of your player, make them better, get an advantage versus the competition. A lot of games allow you to do that. And then you've got your games like Fortnite, where the economy is more based on cosmetics. Your character is who your character is. It's less about the attributes of the character and more about the person that's controlling the game, that has the controller in their hand. We're going to be more like that, more like Fortnite. So our characters might have slightly different attributes. One might be a little bit better of an outside shooter. One might be a little bit better of a perimeter defender. So there's going to be a little bit of trade-off, but more or less the characters are going to be very, very equal. We're going to balance that. We're going to make sure no character provides like a real advantage to anybody. It's going to be more skills to win than pay to win. So it's about the person that's controlling it. So this is wide open. You know, people that are playing more, that are grinding, that are getting better at this game are the only ones that are really going to have an advantage here. So you cannot pay to make your character better. The progression is focused on cosmetics. You're going to be able to get better trash talk, different types of dunk animations, three-pointers, you know, dribble moves, ankle breakers, outfits, accessories, all that type of stuff. So it's more cosmetically focused than it is, you know, increasing attributes.
You either get nasty at it or you're not. You're either good or you're not. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And the nasty you get, then you start incorporating, you know, dunking on people. Then you bring the disrespect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the only people that are going to have a significant attribute advantage is just going to be like you and me, pretty much, because we're going to juice up some characters for us. Nah, I'm just playing.
Play me. Yep, don't play.
You'll know it's us because we'll just never miss. Nah, I'm pretty sure that most of the people that play this game will be able to kick my ass at it pretty quickly. So
yeah. Nah, that's how it was back in the day too. Like, you just had to put in your time in the game, and you knew when you played somebody else. You know, back in the day we were in the same room, but when you played somebody else, you knew right away if they were on your level or not. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
As soon as you said hike, or as soon as they did the tip off NBA Live, I already knew I'm gonna smoke you because I've been putting in my time, and that's where we're getting this from for this game. Like,
that's right.
Old school. Just put in your skills, get nice at it, and come with it.
Yep. All right, what we got next?
How many courts are going to be in this game? Now, the courts are dope. Ryan, explain to them what the aesthetic is like.
Yeah, so look, as much as we love like the traditional blacktops, back alleys, you know, those courts, the Boys and Girls Club courts, or the inside arenas, you know, and all that. We wanted to think like, hey, this is a video game. We don't need to ground it in reality. We don't need, like, we can go out. We got that stuff around us. So let's be imaginative. And the whole idea behind this world, this Run the Court universe, is it's our world plus, call it like 20-30%. And that means the technologies that we're just starting to scratch the surface on in the real world are already highly implemented into the world of the Run the Court universe. So things that we're just starting to be able to do, let's say, you know, you see an Instagram thing and they're like, oh, the first car that can go underwater. Like, that's something that, you know, would be more the norm in this world. And not that one specific, but just an example. So the courts, like, I don't know if you look this up, it's pretty dope. There's a tennis court on a helipad, and this is on a hotel in Dubai. And we'll have to we'll have to cut this up and make sure we show it. But it's actually this round tennis court off the side, off like, it's got to be like the 50th story of this hotel in Dubai in the middle of the water. That actually exists, but it's not like a commonplace thing. But in the game, like, let's make that the norm, you know? So we'll have a court on the side of a skyscraper. We might put a court right in the middle of the cliffs of Santorini. We might put one in the middle of like a temple in Athens or something like that. But we also, you know, we're going to have technology courts. We're going to have, you know, a LCD court. We're going to have a court in the middle of a pool party in Vegas. I had to make sure we got that in there, or maybe it'll be Miami. We'll see. But we got all these different courts. So the first season, which is going to be the whole theme of that season, this is like a preview event. This is the soft launch. The early access will be a preview event of the upcoming full season. And so it's a smaller group of fans of the RTC, people that are involved with it, that are invited to this, the MVPs. They're going to be part of this. And it's hosted on a yacht, like a big mega yacht, the world's biggest yacht in the RTC universe. Imagine some shit like Steve Wynn has. But it's like a catamaran, and on the back of the boat, stern, bow, I don't know, I'm not a boating guy, you have a court And that's where these games are going to take place. Different times of day, different parts of the ocean. And this boat is on the way to an undisclosed location, which halfway through the soft launch, you're going to find out where it's going. You're going to be introduced to the second court. And then as we move into future seasons, every season's going to be in a unique geography with its own host. And we'll have anywhere from, call it 5 to 6 courts every season, 4 to 6, call it. And some of those might be ones that are there from day one, and some of them might be like a month into the season, we open up a new court. So
that was it. That was the next question. It says, any real world people. Now, remember, with the courts too, and you can combine both of these questions. With the courts, there'll be surprises on the courts. Like, we're going to be bringing in different people, our friends, people that you may know, and there'll be performances on the court where it's hip hop driven too. You know what I mean? You have to let them know what we're doing. We're bringing hip hop, culture, basketball. So on these courts, anything goes. So real world people, yes, there'll be surprises.
Yeah, we're definitely we're in conversations with people. You know, one of the things that when we were growing up, you had games like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, or I don't know if you remember, there was that Lawrence Taylor football game where you hit someone and their spine would break and then you give them steroids. It was crazy. But those were games that they put an athlete or an individual, a celebrity, whoever, Def Jam, Fight for New York, Def Jam Vendetta. They put real world people and they made them like a feature of the game. They were a highlight. That was central to what the game was. Today, a lot of these games, they're putting in so much. We got an NBA-wide license. And by the way, we're going to throw in the G League with it, so you can play with anyone, which is really cool, but no one stands out. Like, I think of Damian Lillard was on the cover, right? Because Dame and Giannis are my two favorite players, right? Dame was on the cover and so was Giannis on the cover of 2K. And really, all you saw was a couple cutscenes, with those players. And it wasn't even telling you much of their story about who they were. It wasn't they weren't highlighted in this. They were just another character. So that's one of the things we want to do different. You think of NBA Ballers or, some of these games where the athletes were at the center. But we also, because this is bigger than just the sport of basketball, it's about sport culture, basketball culture, and the culture beyond that. It makes sense for us to bring in rappers, musicians, designers and artists, all those types of people that are part of that world, and give them that platform and feature them as well. So we're looking at having people that'll be playable characters, people that'll be non-playable characters, very similar to Def Jam, Fight for New York, and Vendetta, where some people will appear as themselves, or they might appear as someone else. They might be an alter ego or something like that. And then you'll have your fictional characters mixed in too. So that's the plan.
And keep in mind, we're also dropping a full-length album curated about basketball, curated about the game, Run the Court. And these are characters that are going to be in the game as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're going to have real top-of-the-line producers, top-of-the-line hip-hop artists. Maybe we'll go into another genre of music later, but we're popping it off with hip-hop. So we're going to have a full-length album dropping in the next month or so. And these will be characters, real-world artists and producers that will all be part of the game and be in the game.
And if you pay attention to the game when you're playing, you're going to see some people, some little Easter eggs, some people mixed in the crowd, or some other things like that. So we'll be dropping some Easter eggs. We're really into that. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we got to put Hunter Biden in the game. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's some characters. There's some characters from movies that I'm like, man, I want to put that person in the game.
Well, that's the thing about the game. It's whatever you imagine in your mind. So that's why it's the game's immersive, but the building of the game is immersive, and that's what we're turning to the people too. We're making the game with the people. So that's why we're on here right now. Talk to us, hit us up, let us know. And as we roll out the game, we're going to be listening to, we know what we want to make. We know what's dope. Yeah. We're gamers, but we want suggestions. We want to talk to the people, and we want to create this community to make this the best game ever. That's what this is. I got more questions for you, bro.
All right. Yep.
All right, now we're gonna get a little more technical. How do these tournaments work? Because we're running through tournaments, correct?
Yeah, so basically there's two ways to play the game. You could jump in if you only have 5 minutes or something. You want to play a single game against someone else, you could just go in, play against someone else online. But also, one of the things we think is very different about this is you can drop into a tournament, right? So this is very much inspired by like a Fortnite where you got 100 people drop on an island, see who's left standing. Well, we thought, hey, the sports equivalent of that is March Madness. Drop 64 teams or people into a tournament, let them play until 4 left, 2 left, 1 left. So that's the idea, is instead of this island, you're dropping into a bracket and you're seeing how far you can get. So the way the tournaments will work, we'll have tournaments that are like up to 16 teams or up to 32 or 64. And the idea is you drop in, you play through. As you play, you're getting XP, you're unlocking currency, you're getting stuff that's going to help you on the progression of your characters and basically your profile. The other part of this that I think is going to be pretty dope is there's a leaderboard. And as you move up the leaderboard by playing more, being more successful, we're going to have at the end of a season, we're going to have the top, we haven't decided the number, but let's make up a number, just to mess around. Like maybe it's 1,024 people just because it's divisible by 64. And what we'll do is we'll set up tournament brackets where the winners of each of those tournament brackets of 64 then go into a final bracket, right? So that's our champions bracket. If you qualify, if you're high enough on the leaderboard, you'll drop into that. You'll be able to play in the last week of the season, and the rewards for that are going to be huge, right? Like it'll be one of one, You might be the player that gets to rock the crown for the next season or the championship belt or something like that. You unlock a lot of stuff. So, we think that'll be pretty cool to have these champions tournaments. But the basic, free-to-play tournament, you're going to jump it, just drop in, play, see how far you get. And if you get eliminated, you just jump into another one.
That's beautiful. Nah, that's dope, bro. And then there'll be an opportunity for, people will set up their side hustles according to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But now, next question. Well, this one here, will you do PC or console? I think you answered that already.
Yeah, yep.
We'll get into that. And the next one is, why 2 versus 2? Like NBA, NBA Jam is, so that's
NBA Jam is 2 on 2. But there's really not a lot of 2-on-2 games. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. You look at some of these basket trio, freestyle 3-on-3. There's a lot of 3-on-3 games, and that makes sense, right? Because your natural inclination is like when you play ball and you just play pickup. I mean, there's 5-on-5, but like a half court 3-on-3 is very natural. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: like when you play 3-on-3 in person, you got 2 other people. You can kind of communicate, right? Like you can communicate with them. You could see what they're doing. It's easy to pick up different people's tendencies. This guy's an outside shooter. This guy loves to cut back door. This guy screens and rolls to the hoop.
That guy's trash. That guy's
trash. Exactly. Don't pass that guy the ball. So, but here's the thing that we noticed is that on 3-on-3, when you're playing a multiplayer game, and you don't have 2 people that you're playing with, you just get linked up with people online. That's too much complexity without the communication and with everyone trying to read what's going on. And so what ends up happening, right, is there's just a cluster of people always running to the ball. There's too much going on, too many players on a mobile device, cluster of people. It's like watching first graders play soccer. It's just like the whole pack runs the ball and it's just a big jumbled mess. So we were like, look, 3-on-3, there's something lacking in that experience. Now, on the other end of it, one-on-one, which we will offer in the game, we're like, look, one-on-one, the problem with that is even if you play in real life, it's a little frustrating because it just feels repetitive. Like, oh, I'm going to do this, and this is the move that I always go with, or the couple moves. And you quickly learn if you're defending someone or if you're attacking someone what their tendencies are. But also, if you pick up your dribble, you're in those situations, right, where you're like, and you can't a good shot because your defender's going to be up on you.
Fade away.
Yeah, exactly. That fade away, and half the time you got like, man, I'm going to throw up a hook shot. But but then with 2-on-2, what's interesting, we think we found a sweet spot because when we play tested this, after the score was like 3-2, 3-3, the first 30, 40, the first minute of gameplay, you could tell that people that didn't know each other, that weren't communicating to each other, they could quickly feel out how the other person played. Okay, this guy likes to move to the corner. I'm gonna draw the double team, kick it out. This guy likes to set a lot of screens. So you quickly figure each other out. It takes a minute, but that process is so short. And with a game that you want to be over in 3 to 5 minutes, you can't have that complexity of that third teammate and the 3 defenders. It's just too much for us to compute, So
the 3 people, all it's gonna be is somebody's gonna have the ball, and then the second guy is gonna compete with the third guy to try to get the ball.
Right. So everybody just goes for Delph, right? Like it's the one dude that just is like, yo, everybody's like, when I get the ball, I'm shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And
2-on-2 is cool because 2-on-2 you could actually set up plays, you can execute plays, like you can pass, you can, run.
I mean,
around.
look, even the NBA today, a lot of people will say it's like a 2-person game, right? It's a big man coming out, setting a screen, either rolling to the hoop or stepping out, taking big guys that can shoot, like Joker and stuff like that, and be whatever. So the 2-man game, I think, is just a natural thing for us now. And look, I mean, 2-on-2, you get to throw in the alley-oops. And even if your teammate, you get linked up with a teammate who's not, fantastic because it's just some person you're like, he's not that good. Here's the good thing. The game's only 3 or 4 minutes. It's not like you're investing 30 minutes into a game with a whack teammate. It's 3 or 4 minutes, then you jump into the next one. But also, if you play the right way and people are moving to space, getting jumpers off, you're going to have a better probability of making it if you're wide open, and you can get that in 2-on-2.
All right, next question. Oh, boy, here it goes. How is it different from 2K, Ryan?
So because it's basketball, everybody, the first thing they go to is 2K. But this is not 2K. This is nothing like it. This is 2-on-2. This is more arcade style. It's grounded in reality, but it's more arcade style. It's for mobile first. 2K's got its mobile offering, but that's kind of like an afterthought. They're console first, clearly, and they should be. That's where they make all their money. On mobile, the reason we thought there was an opportunity to make this game is there wasn't a mobile first experience that we felt brought the feel and the fun of basketball and the culture of basketball together. So if you ask me, are we trying to compete with 2K? No, we'd be stupid to do that. Like, we love 2K, we're fans of it, but that's a simulation style experience. It's trying to be realistic. It's grounded in reality. This is about having fun, arcade style, but still having that street ball, true basketball DNA. So it'll be very different. And the way that we incorporate, players and basketball culture and everything else will be different too,
That's right. Next question. Can I invite a friend to play with me?
No, I'm just playing. Yeah, of course you can. We're going to have it where you can jump into a game and get matched up with a teammate of a similar skill level, or you can, have your list of friends, see who's online, ask them if they want to jump in a game with you, or you can, send a message and invite friends. But yeah, we'll definitely have that feature. We'll talk about this when we get to one of the later questions, but we'll also have the opportunity for some people to build their own tournaments with their friends' groups as well, as opposed to just jumping in with randoms and competing against, online players. So
now we already went through this. Somebody submitted a question, said, are all our characters all the same? So I guess they're asking skill sets.
Yeah, so they'll be balanced. They'll be very similar, but there will be, this person might be a little faster. This person might be a slightly better outside shooter. This person might have a little bit more range on defense, where they're going to recover more quickly. So there's a bunch of different attributes that are part of it. We've got the different attributes. You can see them in the menu screen in the roster. It's not going to completely change it. It's not going to eliminate the fact that this is skills to win and it's about the person controlling it. But there will be slight differences. And the nice thing about that, you might start to see, this is my tendency towards this character, but also people are going to see, like, who am I playing against and how am I going to change my character based upon that? Or my teammate chose this person, who am I going to choose to complement them? So I think it'll add a level of depth and strategy that'll be fun.
And the gameplay, like we said before, the gameplay is super smooth. The shooting is smooth. So I know who everybody's gonna run to. They're gonna run to whatever characters like Steph. So it's gonna be in there. The crossovers, the hardened step backs, the smooth 3-pointers. That's all in there. So
yeah, and we do have like 4 player types. Like a lot of other games, we got a playmaker. We got the shooter, we got the slasher, we got the big, and we got the stretch 4 type player. So each of them, their archetype or their player type is going to have a little bit more of a tendency in one direction or the other. The other way where characters are going to be a little bit different is around the active skills. So you got a hype meter. The more confident your player becomes, the momentum they build, that meter is going to fill up, kind of like he's on fire, or the momentum meter on Def Jam Fight for New York. And when that fills up, you're able to execute an active skill, or we call it a heat check skill, right? It's that I'm hot, I'm going to do something crazy just because I'm feeling that good, right? It feels like I'm throwing the ball in the ocean. So when you have that heat check skill, there's different categories. There's, dribble moves or ankle breakers, which are going to get you by somebody, but won't help you score. Then there's the 1-point scoring ones. It might be a Kobe MJ fadeaway or something crazy like that. Or there's also the rare one is the 2-pointer, which is basically an automatic 2-point score. Each one of those is going to drain your meter further, so that you got to think about, how do I want to balance that? Like, do I want that automatic 2-point play? But I might only be able to execute that once in a game versus, the dribble, the ankle breaker that gets you wide open. You might be able to do that 3 times in a game, Yeah,
so save that when you're at 9. You know what I mean? Because game 11. So just cut them off with the 2-pointer in game 9. Because the scoring is like the park. Buckets of 1, and then you got the 2-pointers.
Yeah, 1s and 2s, first to 11 by 2, and if nobody's gotten a 2-point lead by that point, it's first to 15 by 1.
And the park, same thing,
just like the park. Yep.
All right, now the next one is, what's the story? I think you answered that already.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, the overarching story is that this is an exclusive, elite, high-end underground basketball tournament. So I like to say this is the Fight Club of basketball. This is, imagine the Illuminati are running a basketball tournament, right? And there's a whole storyline around the professional 5-on-5 league in the game versus the RTC, and how they kind of interact and all the dynamics there. There's also a storyline around who's operating and who runs the RTC. The RTC, basically, like I said, super exclusive event, invite only. If you're a fan, you want to go to the games, you got to sign an NDA, a confidentiality agreement. You got to go to these games, and you got to also, the other thing is, in the world of Run the Court, all betting and gambling on sports has been outlawed globally. Because of this big thing that happened, which is part of the storyline, but it's outlawed. So this tournament is actually, the operations are financed by gambling. It's all about gambling. It's all about betting. This is essentially like dog fighting, like of basketball. So there's bets, there's side bets, everything else going on. The players, they get no contracts, they get no guaranteed payments. They're playing every game to win and move on and make more money. So this is kind of their last chance to play basketball and get paid for it. So there's a lot to unpack there, obviously, but The betting is part of it. The fans that are invited have to commit to gambling or betting a minimum amount over the course of the season. But they're also going on an experience, right? They're going for a couple months to some fantastic place that's been curated and built for them, because it's almost like the Olympics, right? Where you have the Olympic Committee or the World Cup, right? Where they're trying to build the most attractive plan and trying to win their ability to host in their geography, like Qatar just did for the World Cup, and trying to get that and the revenue that comes with that. So these different hosts are competing, trying to create the best geographies that are going to attract the most money.
Like a secret society, like an elite level of basketball fans, like wealthy elites and secret, mysterious lives of people, but they all love basketball and they all come together and congregate here.
Exactly.
Sick. All right, next one. iOS and Android. It's going to be on both.
It's going to be on both. It'll be in the Google Play Store and the App Store. So as soon as we're available, it'll be easy to play, easy to get.
And the app, you see the app design. We just dropped the app design, the actual button.
The tile. Yeah, that's right.
That shit is fire.
Yeah, it's dope.
And it's gonna be, those are gonna be the pins too. When we drop, we're gonna be dropping. That's another thing. Not only we dropping music, we're dropping the game. We're going the whole culture. So we're also gonna be dropping the merch, and you'll see the merch on the hats. That's my personal favorite. They got the pins. The pins are dope. The RTC 13 bridge pins, just fire.
Yep.
Next question. Web3 elements. What's the Web3 elements of this game?
Yeah, so it's obviously controversial. We've been very thoughtful all along about this. This is a free-to-play game. It's very much like your traditional free-to-play games. It's got in-app purchases where you can buy different outfits, different taunts, different celebrations, all that stuff, just like Fortnite, Call of Duty, PUBG, any of those. But you also can get a season pass that enables progression over like 100 levels over the course of the season, where you're unlocking more and more cosmetics and rewards. But one of the things that we know about our audience is that they value exclusivity, they value scarcity, they value ownership. And look, basketball culture is a lot about, look at what I got that you don't, or, trash talk and all that. It's about status. So we also wanted to find a way to incorporate that element of basketball culture and our audience's desires into the game. And the way to do that was to add an optional Web3 elements. It's not anything you're forced into. It's not a gated experience where people that don't participate in that have any sort of different experience. But what we did is we have two Web3 elements. So one is digital collectible characters. So before each season, when we introduce the characters, we're going to do a whole reveal. And for those people that say, hey, I care about digital ownership, they can purchase that character. We might have like 2,000 or 2,500 of each or whatever it might be, but you'll be able to purchase that character. And what you'll get for that is you'll automatically get your season pass for the typical progression over the course of the season. You'll also get a very specific digital ownership pathway as well. So that pathway will be like, let's say first season you buy Logan Hurts. Well, Logan's going to have his own pair of exclusive sneakers. He's going to have his own exclusive outfit, his own exclusive dunk, all those things. And as you progress over the course of the season through your regular progression, certain points you're going to unlock those. Now, you'll be able to sell those in the marketplace as you win them if you want, or you can create a full collection with Logan's signature collection. And at the end of the season, if you want, that's your way of saying, like, I was here season one, I was here from day one, and I collected this full. Someday that might be worth a lot of money to some other player who wants that. It's very similar to, this has happened in a lot of games where people, are selling special weapons or special things. So this won't those characters won't be any better. They're just going to be different, and they're going to unlock that pathway. The second part of that I think is cool, and for those people that really love grinding and playing the game, the quicker you achieve each of those and unlock each of those items, the more rare a version of it you'll get. So if you're one of the first, you might get the diamond version. If you're a little bit later, you get the gold version and whatever. So you can build your collection. Let's say it's 8 to 10 items over the course of the season that go with that character. You can sell them at any time on the marketplace, or you can hold on to them and have that character collection. So that's the first one, which is this is not some crazy high price thing. This is about the experience. We don't know what the pricing will be, but I mean, it's going to be a very reasonable low amount to buy that character and have a unique collecting experience. Second one is the courts. So what we're doing is we're going to have 4 tiers of courts available, tiers 1 through 4. Tier 1, what any of the tiers can do is they give you the ability to host tournaments in the game. So you can host tournaments for your friends. I
didn't think you were gonna reveal this today.
Yeah.
Fire. This is fire. Explain the courts, the 4 tiers. Go ahead, Ryan. I didn't know you were telling this, but I'm excited.
Yeah. So this might not be something we do from day one, just to be clear. But where we're going with this is there's 4 tiers of courts. If you own a tier 1, you can do a high level of customization to your court. A tier 4 still allows for some customization, but not as many elements. You can host a certain number of tournaments every week. So let's say on one end, maybe it's like 5 a week, and the other it's 100 a week or whatever. And the way we want to build this and what we're working towards is that if you want to host a tournament, you can charge entry fees in either the in-game currency or potentially real-world money or Bitcoin or something like that. And people that want to participate in that way could pay an entry fee, a couple dollars, 50 cents, whatever it might be, to enter into a tournament. The person that owns the court will get a percentage of the entry fees. And then the players will compete with first and second prize, basically splitting, or not splitting evenly, but 70-30, whatever it might be, the remaining money. So there's an added element, whether it's with in-game currency or real currency, to be able to compete with the stakes that are a little bit higher and keep this interesting. The other part of that is if you're a big name person, you're a celebrity, you're a streamer with a big audience, if you own one of these courts, you can basically go in, set up a tournament, and send out a code to your followers that says, hey, Friday night, 5 o'clock Eastern time, I'm hosting 100 tournaments, 64 entries per 6,400 people. The first 6,400 to put their code in can compete in this tournament. It's going to cost this much to enter. Here's the prize for each tournament winner. Boom, boom, boom. So it's a way to I think, if you're someone with an audience, it's a way to build that audience around the culture of basketball. It's a way to monetize that audience. It's a way to engage with that audience. If you're a streamer and you're hosting these tournaments, you can stream those tournaments. If you're just someone who's a big gamer and in a game community and you just want to do this for fun, you get a tier 4 court. You can host your own tournaments where you invite your friends to compete. So anyway, that's the plan. That's what we're working toward. Like I said, it might not be a day one thing that we do, but that's something we're looking to incorporate. But both of these pathways, the character digital collectible and the court collectible or court ownership, those are both completely optional things for people that care about that stuff. And if you don't, you'll never even know it's in the game.
Yeah, that's what's dope about it. I thought that was cool. Like, me and you discussed that. Like, dude, some people just want a game. You know what I mean? Some people want to get in, and some people want the business aspect. So like you said, somebody was a big name, they want to run their own tournaments. I mean, Ryan, let's be real. Like, Think about it. They're going to call up their brand friends. Look, we're going to design this court the way we want to design it. You know what I mean? So there's an opportunity for business. And then you could just come in leisurely and play this game and just have fun, which is dope. You're not committed to either side. You could just do what you want.
Yeah. So
there you go. Look, Run the Court, RTC, brought to you by 13 Bridge Studios. Ryan, I think you're on to something big right now. It's dropping.
We.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm in. No, we got to polite. This is my dream, too.
I mean, that's what it's about. It's about giving the audience the game that we want, that we know they want, giving us ownership of a game, because no game is being made specifically for us right now that's taking into account our love of basketball culture, the desire to have that arcade experience, a little bit of that retro feel, but at the same time doing it in a way that appeals to today's gamers and making just a great gaming experience. There's some other basketball games out there that come from overseas, and sometimes those aren't coming from within basketball culture. They're not coming from, sometimes it feels almost offensive. Some of those games,
they're not us, bro. They're
not. So, they're trying to make something to get some money out of everybody's pocket, but at the same time, like, it's not as authentic. So that was part of the reason that we wanted to create this, was something for the community that we know, that we're a part of, and that we're trying to serve,
Right. Wait till you see what's coming, man. I'm excited. We got a lot of surprises. Wait till you see. We on it. We tied up anything that any game was missing and what we wanted to grab from here, grab from there. We put it all into this game. Run the Court 2023. Thank you. Thanks all for watching. Ryan, you little MNF man. And for the people, it's games for the people. See y'all later. Peace.
All right. Peace.
All right. Boom, boom, boom.